And now for a bit of a dark turn to the show, and that's all right. And I've said this before. I'm sure if you've watched me before, you've heard me say this, that I grew up as like the all American dude. Like I loved Hulk Hogan. I loved apple pie. I wanted to be in the military. I loved everything that had to do with America. Um, I was so into the Olympics. Like I cheered more than anybody could ever imagine for American athletes. And to meet me today and talk to me today, I am literally the exact opposite. I've learned that soldiers are not the honorable people that we were taught to think that they were. They're not. I'm not just going to say they're not honorable at all. I was going to go too far, but their honor goes as long as the paycheck goes. That's for sure. Um, um, and Olympians are for the 90th percentile. The white privileged children who were fortunate enough to be able to practice a seemingly insignificant sport or feat every single day, but only because of their proximity to the sport or their them growing up wealthy and going to a school that has all of this stuff or going living in an area that has all of these things like figure skating and speed skating and luge. How many people besides the Jamaican bobsled team became luge Olympians that didn't come from money or at least the upper middle class? Come on. I looked at them almost similar because they all stood for something. They all were a representation of us, of Americans, soldiers and Olympians alike. But when I was in the military, when I met up more people that were in the military and I saw how they behaved and heard stories about things, especially that they did outside of this country and the example that they set for us as Americans, I was disgusted. I was completely disgusted, and even more disgusted when my outrage was not shared by lot of other people who I knew. And it's really a stomach turning thing for to me go from being gung ho, believing that soldiers are heroes and soldiers are like I looked at them like knights. You know what I mean? Like knights in shining armor, like the knights from the Renaissance times. Like they had a code they lived by. They don't live by a code. Let me tell people now, they don't. And the Olympians were supposed to stand for something, political statements. I remember the Black Panthers that put their hands up and had to get their medals back just for making a political statement about injustice. I remember, um, uh, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, that many Olympians didn't make stands. Once again, but they're privileged people. All of the Olympians, they're not the poorest of the poor. They're maybe the boxers. A lot of times the boxers and shit like that, or wrestlers maybe, but not even really that. Most wrestlers come from money, or at least upper middle class. But these people at this time, with what America is doing, they made no stands. They didn't refuse to represent that flag. These soldiers don't refuse didn't refuse to occupy DC to Chicago and California. You stand for nothing, and I have to pay you. I have to pay you Olympians trips to Italy, and then the hockey team dis- acts as if the women's hockey team is lesser than them. I don't think that has anything to do with them having a black star on the team, though, do you? I don't. Yeah, no, probably not. These people were supposed. Where I used to hold these people on shoulders, like, hey, and you could ask my mother. I was a big Mary Lou Renton fan. That's how much of a like Olympian lover I was, and how like my grandfather was a soldier. I had pride. I had pride in the military service. I have family that are in the service, that were in the service. I lost friends that were in the service. So it hurts to say this, but I have no respect for these people anymore. I feel like this is the time that you make a stand is when you see fascism on the doorstep, and regardless of what you say, this looks just like Berlin, and they did the same thing. We're gonna have the Olympics here as well, and I want to see who's gonna make a stand then against what's going on in this country. You're just worried about getting tickets to the World Cup. You come home and I will forever love the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles that did not go to the White House because they stood for something. And they didn't make a big thing about it. They just, it's quiet. Sometimes you could be quiet and make a hell of a message. But these people know. First of all, the soldiers don't have a choice. I pay you. And now I see that now I see what you stand for. I don't approve. I don't care if you like that or not. I don't approve. I'm the boss, not you. You are not the boss of anything. Your guns do not make you a man. It's how you show restraint. How you lead those who need to follow. And what you're going to do now is you're going to lead young men to death. You're going to lead young men to death for your glory. And what glory will there be? What glory will there be? You've already killed women and children. As far as I'm concerned, you're scum. You are the lowest of the low. You're not a man to me. And I hope that makes you angry. So you see how petty of a man you are. But with that said, I will never root for the United States again in the Olympics, warfare, anywhere. The United States has to earn my respect back. Because, once again, I'm a consumer. I'm buying it. I'm paying, I'm fitting the bill. So I want some fucking results. And I've watched them squander everything that a Democratic president has tried to fix. I've watched the people allow Republican to screw it up every single time. And it's getting old. It's getting so old. And the same people who sat there and said that they wanted peace, and the president is a Christian, he's the peace president, those same people have now watched him go into war and they're supporting it. But this is the best part about it. Knowing that our Olympic team and those soldiers are so based on no DEI, there's a less high chance that brown people aren't going to be dying here. You put a lot of us out. A lot of women, you put them out. So this is all going to be the stupid maggots all on their own. Good luck. Sayonara. I hope your machismo serves you well as you commit your war crimes. And for all the Olympians, you will be remembered in history for what you did with this man, for your allegiance to a fascist. Does anybody remember any of the Olympians from the Munich Games in Berlin? Anyone? Yeah. Didn't think so. Didn't think so.